Now for this one, you will have to remember the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle. Which is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Actually, let me go ahead and write it out. Plus 2 times the width. Or we can just make that P equals 2L plus 2W. Okay, so if we drew that out, we have the length, the length, the width, the width. The perimeter is just adding those together. So you have length plus width plus length plus width. Combining the two lengths gives you your 2L. Combining the two widths gives you your 2W. Okay, so based on what they gave us, we know that the perimeter is 192. So P is equal to 192. Okay, now the width.
Is 3.
Nope, we don't know what the width is yet. We know the length is 3 times the width, but they didn't give us the exact value of the width. So the width, we'll just make that W, since we don't know what it is. And the length, we'll make that L, but we know the length is also 3 times the width. So it's 3W. Remember, length is 3 times the width. Okay, so once we have our perimeter, once we have our width, and once we have our length, we just plug it into our formula. Okay, so I'm just going to rewrite the formula, then plug everything in. So the perimeter equals 2 length plus 2 width, which means our perimeter is going to equal 2 times the length. Remember, the length is equal to 3 times the width. So 2 times 3 times the width.
Why we don't put the 182 is equal to times?
Oh, actually, I was going to do that the next step, but it makes more sense to do it on this one. Yep, just go ahead and replace it there. Plus 2 times the width is just 2 times W. Okay, so remember, your main goal is to just get one variable. Once you solve for that one variable, you can always solve for the other one. Okay, so we went ahead and replaced the L. The 2W just stays the same. This way we can go ahead and solve for W. Okay, so we have 192, and all we did was just interchange those two. Is equal to 2 times 3, which is 6W, plus 2W, or 192 equals 8W. Divide both sides by 8.
24.
Yep. W equals 24.
W?
Yep, your width. Okay. Now you can do one of two things to find your length. You can plug the W into here and solve for L, plug in your P, or you can just plug it into that one. Just a whole lot easier to plug it into that one. You'll get the same answer either way. So solve for length. So I'll write out that you can use 2L plus 2W, or length equals 3W. So that's just easier. Okay, so we know that the length is equal to 3 times 24.
72.
So the length is 72. Oh, did they say? Yep, feet. All right, so any questions on that one? All right. All right, looks like everyone's done writing. All right, so let's say for our next example. So suppose the length of a rectangle is 4 times the width. Okay, now this one, if the area is 900 square feet, then what is the width? Of the rectangle. Okay, so you have the same shape, you have a rectangle, but one asks for the perimeter, one asks for the area. Okay, now if you remember, clean that up a little bit. That the perimeter is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. But the area is a little different formula. The area is going to equal the length times the width. Which is the one we're going to use for this one. Okay, so we need to know the length and the width since they already gave us the area. Okay. So we know that the length is 4 times the width, but we just don't know what the width is. So that means your width, we'll make that equal W. Or you can make it X, you can make it Y, it doesn't matter. Now your length, we can make that equal L, but we know it's 4 times the width. Length is 4 times the width. We also know that the area is equal to 900 square feet. So we don't use the units of measure, just 900 is good enough. Okay. So if we know that the area is equal to length times width, we know that 900 is equal to W times 4W. Okay. So you have 4 times W, which is 900 equals 4W squared.
Divided by 4.
Yep, divide both sides by 4. Okay. Anything divided by itself is just going to be 1. Excuse me. So you have W squared equals 225. I just kind of switch those around a little bit. Okay. So we just square root both sides. So if we square root both sides, we have W equals plus or minus 15. Okay. So we know you can't have a negative length of a rectangle, so it has to be the positive. Yep, so only 15. So there's no negative length, which means that W is just equal to 15. I mean negative width. I don't know why I said W. There we go. There is no negative width. I didn't ask us to solve for the length, but you always could by just plugging in 4 times 15, which would give you 60. That would be your length. All right, so any questions on that one? All right.